And now for a Next News special report.
You're about to enter a realm of legal drama like no other. In the heart of New York, a bomb threat rattles the home of Judge Arthur Engoron just as the Trump bank fraud trial nears its explosive finale. Imagine a judge's personal safety compromised, a trial in disarray, all this in a country that prides itself on justice. But there's more. Trump, the central figure in the saga, is muzzled, barred from delivering his closing argument. Why? Well, what does this say about the state of our republic's legal system? In the next few minutes, we're going to dissect every angle of this unprecedented event. The stakes are high and the implications are vast. And wait until you hear the final thought. It's something every American needs to hear. This isn't just a wake-up call. This is news that every American who believes in fairness and justice needs to hear. Now, before we delve deeper in our special report, let's take a quick moment. Just as our justice system is under scrutiny in the Trump trial, our health, particularly belly fat, demands attention. Much like the deep-seated issues in our legal process, excess belly fat lies deep within, pressing against our vital organs. That's why many, including myself, are turning to this revolutionary substance for help. It's designed to reduce fat storage, enhance fat breakdown, and support overall weight management. And here is the clincher. For a limited time, there's a 51% discount at trimwithgary.com. The link's in the description. This offer mirrors our demand for justice, urgent and necessary. So don't wait. Visit trimwithgary.com for your health solution. Now back to our report. In a startling development that underscores the tense atmosphere surrounding Donald Trump's New York bank fraud trial, a bomb threat was issued at the home of Justice Arthur Engoron. The alarming incident occurred mere hours before the pivotal closing arguments were scheduled to take place, highlighting the high stakes and politically charged nature of the trial. Watch.
Thank God no one was hurt. Thank God it sounds like there wasn't a bomb there, but a bomb threat nevertheless. This comes in the context of Donald Trump saying there's going to be bedlam in the streets if I'm convicted on all these charges, creating a climate for this kind of thing among his supporters.
Becoming all too common. Bomb threats, swatting incidences, other threats. Just in the last couple of weeks, this happened to Jack Smith in his suburban Washington, D.C. home. It happened to the Secretary of State in Maine after she made the decision that Trump shouldn't be on the ballot there. And now Judge Engoron. And this is, we have talked you and I have had this conversation dozens of times in the last year or so, how law enforcement officials really fear this culture of political violence that could surround the 2024 election. That the January 6th, one of them has told me, was just the beginning. That violence and the threat of violence is becoming far more commonplace and seemingly acceptable in the hard right, in the MAGA world. And Donald Trump certainly does nothing to dissuade his supporters. At times seems like he's outright encouraging them. So we're certainly glad nothing happened today, that no one was hurt. But these threats are going to continue. And one of these days, the great fear is it's not just going to be a threat. It's going to be real.
Yeah, that is the big concern, guys, that it takes that step. This is not.
Yeah, I'm suddenly reminded of what Trump said. That if you see them in a grocery store, if you see them in a gas station, push back on them. Push back on them. No, that wasn't Trump. Sorry, that was a Democrat. Now, the bomb threat itself is a grave concern. It's not merely an act of intimidation, but a direct assault on the sanctity of our judicial process. The action aimed at the home of a sitting judge is a chilling reminder of the extreme polarization and heated emotions this trial has generated. Such an event goes beyond mere criminality. It represents a breakdown of respect for our legal institutions, essential pillars of our republic. And following this, Donald Trump, ever the fighter, delivered a potent pre-court statement. In his typical unvarnished style, he blasted the Attorney General Letitia James and Judge Engoron, accusing them of harboring a vendetta against him. His fiery rhetoric reflects more than just his personal defense. It echoes the sentiments of many Americans who view this trial as a politically motivated attack rather than an impartial pursuit of justice. Trump's ability to voice his stance so openly is a testament to the freedoms that our republic cherishes. Watch.
Well, thank you very much. As you know, we consider this an unconstitutional witch hunt. It's election interference at the highest level. It's a disgrace. It's in coordination with the White House and Joe Biden, because he can't win a campaign fairly. And we're going through it, but it is indeed a terrible witch hunt. We're going to have a news conference a little bit later on. As you know, I want to speak. I want to make the summation. At this moment, the judge is not letting me make the summation because I'll bring up things that he doesn't want to hear. And it's a very unfair trial. Nobody's seen anything like this. I don't think they've ever seen anything like this. We have a situation where a statute was used that doesn't give me a jury, so I have no jury. I really have no rights, and it's and nobody thinks it's constitutional. People, legal scholars are writing about it like it's something they've never seen before. So it's interference, it's political interference, and it's something that shouldn't be allowed. So I am hoping to speak and to help my lawyers reveal all of the defects of this case. It should have never been brought. Very, very strong financial statements. They thought it was the opposite. They had no idea because I'm a private company. Then they saw them knock their socks off. They couldn't believe it. But great financial statements. Everything is good. We have a level of detail in our defense that nobody's ever had. This is a case that should have never been brought, and it was brought. And it's very unfair, and it's very bad for New York State. Companies are fleeing. People are fleeing. The streets are crime-ridden. And Letitia James, that's all she thinks about is get Trump. She's been dreaming about it for years, and it's, it's not the way a state should be run, because this is a state that's been in big trouble. You have all the businesses fleeing, and you have the people fleeing. The people that pay taxes, people that don't pay taxes are coming in, so that's not what you want. So I want to thank you. We're going to have a news conference today around, we don't know the time, we'll notify you, but sometime in the early afternoon at 40 Wall Street. So we'll give a news conference where we can actually speak and have a microphone here, because even that they don't want us to have. They really don't want us to speak too much. So we'll see whether or not the judge allows me to speak. Perhaps he won't, but I certainly would like to. Thank you very much.
However, the trial took a turn that can only be described as profoundly disrespectful and indicative of bias from the bench. In a moment that shocked many, Judge Engoron refused to allow a moment of silence for Trump's recently deceased mother-in-law. This denial of a simple human gesture speaks volumes about the atmosphere in the courtroom. It's not just a lack of empathy, it's a blatant disregard for basic decency, further painting the trial as one-sided and the judge as unsymptomatic to anything associated with Trump. And now we have a remarkable moment to share with you. Former President Trump, just after exiting the New York civil fraud trial, had some powerful words to say. Let's take a look at what he had to say in this exclusive clip.
Thank you very much. We just had a very good session. The lawyers said that there was absolutely nothing done wrong. These were all great loans. The bank got the loans. They got paid. The banks were in perfect condition. The bankers were extremely happy with these loans. They made a lot of money with the loans. There were no defaults. There were no problems. This is just an attorney general that hates Donald Trump and wanted to run for governor, wanted to run for attorney general. And it's a shame. I think she should be criminally liable for this. She did this to Exxon, and they drove Exxon out of New York. Exxon paid billions of dollars of taxes. They're now living in Texas. Exxon is very happy in Texas. Other companies, because of what's happening here, are going to be moving out of New York also. This is an out-of-control attorney general. She's totally out of control. These loans were all good. The banks were extremely happy with me. They still are. We built a great company. We have a company that's very liquid, very strong, great assets. And she sued me because she wanted the publicity to run for office. But they find nothing wrong. And I think if anybody was being fair about it, and I'm not sure you can even hear me because they don't allow microphones over here, which is a little ridiculous. But if anybody's fair about it, you see this is a case that should have never been brought. And I think we should be entitled to damages. Thank you. I'll be back.
Mr. Trump, what's your reaction to your name being removed from the Trump list?
Those words from the former president are nothing short of explosive. He's not holding back, accusing the Attorney General of being out of control and suggesting the lawsuit against him was politically motivated. Moreover, Judge Engoron's decision to prohibit Trump from delivering his closing argument adds fuel to the fire. This is an extraordinary move, virtually unheard of in legal proceedings. The right to a closing argument is a fundamental aspect of a fair trial, allowing the defense a final chance to present their case. By denying this right, the judge isn't just silencing Trump's legal argument, he's impeding the due process that is the right of every American citizen. Such a decision raises serious questions about the fairness of the trial. It appears less like a judicial ruling and more like a personal vendetta, casting a shadow over the integrity of the entire proceeding. The right to speak in one's defense is a hallmark of our justice system in our republic, and denying this right is a grave injustice. This trial, particularly with the bomb threat and the judge's rulings, has deviated from a quest for truth and justice. Instead, it's become a political battleground where legal principles are seemingly being overshadowed by personal biases and political agendas. The implications of the trial extend far beyond Trump himself. They touch on the fundamental fairness of our judicial system and the trust that Americans place in it. When a trial of this magnitude seems tainted by bias, it erodes public confidence in our institutions. This isn't just about Trump. It's about ensuring that our system of justice remains blind to politics and personal prejudices. As we conclude this segment, remember, if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. This trial, with its bomb threats, biased rulings, and disregard for basic human decency, is more than just a legal proceeding. It's a litmus test for the state of our justice system and indeed our republic. The actions of Judge Engoron, particularly the refusal of a moment of silence for Trump's family and barring Trump's closing argument, reveal a worrying trend in our courts. It's not just about Trump. It's about fairness, impartiality, and respect for the legal rights that define our nation. This trial should concern every American, regardless of political affiliation. When a court appears to act out of bias rather than justice, it undermines the trust we place in our legal institutions. We must demand a system that upholds its principles impartially, a system that respects the dignity of every individual. Today it's Trump, tomorrow it could be anyone. Remember, the strength of our republic lies in its commitment to fair and impartial justice for all.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.